you do this and you destroy the Gulf economy, you see, it's the local managers, the politicians, and the police officers, and those charged with carrying out this overall agenda, this plan. If you do that and you make the wrong decision, then guess where you're going to spend the rest of your life? It is so deeply ingrained in these people to make pronouncements and then never carry anything out. This is why I believe that the information that we've had over the last several weeks has been good information. But unfortunately, the people in charge of actually carrying this through and doing what would be responsible for the people involved rather than being irresponsible, they just simply do not have the motivational courage, the political courage, or the courage at all to do what they should be doing. People are suffering. The economy is already suffering. But to leave this situation alone, and Griff, you know this as well as I do, the people down there are being affected as we speak by these elements in the atmosphere and the environment that's been created because of this eruption down there. And it cannot be said strongly enough. All we need to do is look at the people who worked at Valdez, and I don't know if any of them are still alive. It's the exposure over a long period of time, short and long period, depending on the intensity, that does considerable damage. I think that's been your case as well in researching this.
Well,
Greg, you and I speak with one voice. It's like coming out of my mouth. You and I are on the same page. Absolutely. It is a terminal situation down there. Nothing is going to improve, and eventually you'll have millions and millions of people evacuated, and the economies of those states will collapse. It's almost it's entertaining, but it's almost a waste of time to regurgitate over all of the minuscule stories that are going on of the police arresting people and taking the ground. It's that the issue is that they are going to evacuate. They have nowhere to put the people. They have no way to feed the people. The economies are going to fall. The states are going to fall. The economies of the states are going to collapse. That will impact the federal money coming in, and that is tied into the demise of the dollar and further collapse. When the dollar collapses, goods coming into the country will stop. We will be in one hell of a mess, and that is coming up on the horizon. But that's not all of the problems. The gases generated down there, this has never been said before. Let me try to put this on the record in our very limited time. I'm conscious that we only have precious minutes to talk today. You have the chemistry going on from the aerosol that BP is putting into the water. You have the mixing of that chemical with the petroleum chemicals. You have other chemicals coming up out of the ground. It's a plethora of gases and methane and God knows what all mixing. Then you have the radiation from the sun, the heat operating and affecting the chemistry mix and generating new chemistry. Then you're setting fire to the oil on the water, and when you flame it, you generate a mixture of new chemistry and new gases, and it goes back into the water. My friend that I grew up with all of my life was the man at Philip Morris that designed cigarettes. He said to me one time that when you smoke a cigarette, there are thousands of gases formed in the cigarette, and he had not a clue what they were, and he was the man making cigarettes. So you have this mix, and now, on top of that, this has never been mentioned before, you have the chemtrail spraying. The country is being aerosoled every day with, we know, the primary is barium salt mixture. It's several different kinds of barium salt. Then we have aluminum that's mixed in with the barium. That's thousands of times above the EPA scale in the toxic range. And it is a list of other chemistry being mixed into the atmosphere. Now you mix that with the fire of the oil, the smoke, the chemistry, the gases, the methane, the other gases coming out of the ground, and the petroleum. Now you pick that up and you throw it in the wind. Now nobody on Earth, BP, no human being on Earth has a clue what's in that mix. What do you think of that, Greg?
Well, I tell you, I've just been sitting here with my mouth open, just listening to you, Griff. What a dynamic description here, and I believe you're absolutely right. And you throw into that mix Gov't 9500, along with any other dispersants that are being used we don't even know of, that haven't been heard about yet, that they're throwing in the tanks of the C-130s when they're flying over the Gulf and across the states and the marshes and so forth. It is a witch's brew beyond anything that we have ever even contemplated, perhaps even in biological warfare. It could almost be the equivalent of that kind of toxic mix, just on a different scale and with different elements. But the end result is the same nonetheless, and that is a poisoning of the environment, of the people, of the region down there, of animals and plant life that are suffering greatly in this. And there just seems to be absolutely no one that is willing to stand and say enough. The EPA, Griff, who was highly worried a few years ago about methane release from hog farms in Iowa, and they were moving to sue farmers and shut down operations because of methane released by the hogs in their environment. Can you imagine? Where's the EPA now? Where are they when the world is being poisoned out from underneath us? And I'm so glad you mentioned the chemtrail interaction, because that's another component that many people overlook. And you have, I just think we're approaching, Griff. Again, I'm not trying to make this melodramatic, but I believe that we are approaching a moment of no return. I think there may be such a saturation of this, and I was told early on, 8 weeks ago, that it was 14% in the atmosphere that could result in the ignition or the saturation where people would not be able to breathe. They would know that they are ill and going down, and some people have felt those effects. It is just, we're literally standing at the door, and everybody is sitting around with their thumbs in their ears.
Well,
that's right.
Like a scene out of the movie The Road is what this scenario could turn into. We're going to take a break. You're listening to